Bhagwatam review class.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We will today begin chapter 14 of Shrimad Bhagwatam Canto 1. Before that, let's pray Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnanatirandasya Dhyananjana Salakaya Chaksuramilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Sri Yutapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhanvitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrundavaneshwari Vrisabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratu Se Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udhirayet Nastaprayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Hare Krishna, everybody. So we welcome you, everybody, for Srimad Bhagwatam review class. Today we will begin chapter 14 of Srimad Bhagwatam, Canto 1. The title of the chapter is The Disappearance of Lord Krishna. So in this chapter, Sutta Goswami describes the reaction of the Yudhishthira Maharaj upon suspecting the Lord's departure. So first of all, why did he suspect? So in the previous chapter, chapter 13, we learned that Narad Muni told Yudhishthira Maharaj. What did he tell? He told the Lord has already performed his duties to help the demigods, and he is awaiting the rest. So what does that mean? Means the Krishna incarnate to this earthly planet for some specific purpose, and that has been fulfilled. Basically, as it says, paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya cha duskrutam dharma sansthapanarthe sambhavami yuge yuge. Lord Krishna says that in every yuga I come. So he comes one time in a day of Brahma. So when he comes, he protects the devotees, he kills the demons, he establishes the religion, and then it is time for him to leave from this earthly planet. So this is what being hinted by Narad Muni to the Yudhishthira Maharaj in chapter 13. And he says that now Lord Krishna is waiting for something else. And what is that? Annihilation of Yadu Dynasty, means destruction of his own family. He took birth in Yadu Dynasty. So he wanted that Yadu, all the members of the family need to go before he leaves the body. Means he doesn't leave the body, means he goes to his planet, spiritual planet. So one day, Yudhishthira Maharaj was thinking, remembering, he was remembering the statement of Narad Muni that he told that Lord Krishna has already finished his work and now he will be about to leave, something like that. So therefore, he was very curious to know about it. And he sent his younger brother Arjuna to Dwarka to see Lord Krishna as well as other relatives, and mainly to find out what Lord Krishna plans to do next. So that was the reason why Yudhishthira sent Arjuna to find out from Krishna what is his next activity. So, as it is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita also, the Lord descends from his abode. His abode is Krishna Loka, the topmost planet in the spiritual sky. There are so many planets in spiritual, Vaikuntha they call it. But Krishna Loka is one of the topmost. And from that planet he comes on earth for the protection of the faithful devotees and destruction of his enemies or demons, So the battle of Kurukshetra was over and Maharaj Yudhishthira was established as a king of Hastinapur. And that was the mission of Lord Krishna also. And that mission was accomplished. So, because Lord Krishna will disappear and Yudhishthira wanted to find out, he sent his brother Arjuna to find out. But now he was in anxiety because Arjuna did not return from Dwarka, and Yudhishthir Maharaj was observing some inauspicious omens called symptoms. There are inauspicious symptoms that someone observe around him, or sometimes he experiences also. So here, because Arjuna did not come, and because he's observing some inauspicious omens which were fearful, so Yudhishthir Maharaj now really suspected the disappearance of Lord Krishna. Now let us see what he observed as an inauspicious symptoms or omens. So the first of all, he observed the fearful change of time and irregularities in season. So as you know, there are seasons like winter, summer, monsoon. So there was irregularities in season means in winter, all of a sudden there is a heat. And in summer, all of a sudden there is a cold, like that. So that is irregularities in season. And also the timing, daytime, nighttime. So there is an intermingling. And when something happen, like too much rain, no rain, those kind of things happen. So that is the first sign that he observed. The next sign he observed is that people become greedy, and they were adapting foul means of livelihood means they were not doing their own prescribed duties, because according to the Varna ashram system, there is a prescribed duties for human being. The human being are classified according to the Vedic system. Actually, there are 4 Varnas and 4 ashrams. We may have discussed that before also. I will just briefly mention about 4 Varnas means Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra. So each category has their own duty to function. So Brahman has to do his duty, Kshatriya has to do his duty, Vaishya has to do his duty, and Shudra has to do his duty. So what are their respective duties? So Brahmana is Pathan Patan, means Brahmana study the Vedas, and then they benefit the society. They give that knowledge to the society. And Kshatriya, they are the protecting, or nowadays like administrative class, And then Vaishya, which is the supplier of all these 3 Varnas, means they are engaged in business or farm activity, cow protection, farming, business. So Vaishyas are that. So what is happening here? People are taking any job for livelihood. Actually, Brahmanas should not take the work of a Sudra, but they are taking it. So those are the signs of inauspicious omens here we can see. So also there are ashram also according to their goal. So it starts with brahmacharya ashram where you have to maintain celibacy. Then grahastha ashram can get married and live householder life with wife and children. Then there is a vanprastha ashram, which that means you retired from grahastha life. And then last is sannyasa ashram, means you retired from everything and just engage into this devotional service of the Lord, as well as preaching preaching Bhagavad Dharma to the common people. And there is another kind of inauspicious omen is dealings were filled with deception and friendship mixed with cheating. And then also there will be a quarreling in the family members, especially between husband and wife, you know. So actually, there should not be such symptom during the reign of Maharaj Yudhishthir. Why? Because he was an honest and right king to rule the kingdom. But he was astonished to experience such symptoms. Therefore, he at once thought that there may be a cause of, it could have been the disappearance of Lord. So he's still suspecting this thing, He's not sure what had happened, because Arjun hasn't come back from Dwarka yet. So it is mentioned here that the conditioned soul possesses 4 principles of defects, sort of a malpractice. It would be illusion, then the human are bound to make mistake, they have a cheating propensity, and their senses are imperfect. So the human being are normally have these 4 defects. Illusion is common. Maybe illusion means at night time when there is not much light, and if you see the rope, you sometimes mistake it for a snake. So that is kind of an illusion. Sometimes you drive the car in a very sunny day, and in long distance you might feel some water, but it is basically the reflections of the suns on the road, So it's kind of an illusion. So because due to illusion, you might see, in the reflection of light, you might see some water, So sometimes there is a water in place of earth, earth in place of water. So this is kind of an illusion. And mistake, human beings are also bound to do some mistakes. Then there is always a cheating propensity, and our senses are not perfect also, because we will not be able to see everything in a right perspective mood, or because of the imperfect senses, we cannot perceive it properly. Then out of which you can see the cheating propensity is the most prominent. Now, Maharaj Yudhishthir, observing all these omens, means bad auspiciousness symptoms. That's why now he's speaking to Bhimsen, his younger brother Bhim. He's telling him, I sent Arjuna to Dwarka to meet his friends and to know from the Lord of his next plan. But since he departed, 7 months have been passed. How many? 7. 7 months have been passed, and yet he did not come. He did not return. So Yudhishthira Maharaj is expressing his concern to the Bhimsen that I do not know how things are going on there, And then he is asking question to Bhim. Is he, means Lord Krishna, going to quit his earthly pastime as mentioned by Narad Muni? Again, by suspect, he is asking that questions to Bhima, that has that time come which Narad Muni has mentioned? So now Krishna's pastimes is sort of you can see that his activities are sometimes also astonishing to us. When he comes, he acts like a human being. And it is therefore difficult to understand that, they are divine. Of course, even his human-like activity are quite unhuman-like. Sometimes it's also superhuman, you can say. And his activities are very extraordinary, So Maharaj was pondering about this thing, Maharaj Yudhishthir. For example, if we look into the pastimes of Lord Krishna in Vrndavan, As a young boy, Krishna grazed cows and played with his friends when he was a young boy in Vrndavan. But he also killed so many demons in Vrndavan in his youth. And he also lifted a Govardhan hill, when he was only 7 years old, with a little finger of his left hand. And again, when he went to Dwarka, Lord Krishna married to 16,108 queens, and he lived simultaneously with each queen. Now, how did he do that? So this is sort of a activity that is bewildering. Sometimes people cannot understand it. But in each queen, he has a different palace, and he lived with all of them at the same time in each palace, different palace, And then also he expanded himself and placed himself between each pair of dancing partner during Rasalila dance activity. So actually, all of Krishna's activities are very intimate, and it is actually the intimate exchanges with his beloved pure devotees, and they are enacted to satisfy their desire. Actually, Lord Krishna is himself Atmaram. He's self-satisfied. He doesn't need anything. Still, to please his devotee, for the sake of his devotee, he plays those pastimes so that way he can please his devotees. So why he has to marry so many wives? So many wives to reciprocate the love of the particular devotees. The Krishna, all the devotees, his pure devotees can have one of the five relationships with Krishna. The one of them is Santa, which is neutral. Above that is Dasya, means servitorship, means the devotee becomes the servant of Lord. And then when it comes to Sakhya level, means friendship level, the equal level, Lord and devotee is on equal level. Then beyond that is Vatsalya, means parenthood. So there, Lord becomes subordinate to devotee. I mean, devotee is great and Lord is small. So like how in Vrndavan, Mother Yasoda controls Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna, as a baby, he loves to be controlled by Mother Yasoda. See, they're very nice pastimes, He loves to be controlled by his elder Gopas, Gopis, father, mother, like that. And then he plays with his young ones, in Vrndavan. So these kind of things, and then the conjugal relationship that Krishna has. So he has, that means he is satisfying the desire of all levels of devotees, whether they are in a neutral stage, whether they are in a servitorship, they are in friendship, they are in parental mood, or they are in conjugal mood, means loving mood. All devotees, Krishna he will satisfy them. So this is how he enact his pastime. But of all Krishna's pastime, it is said that his disappearance is also one of the pastime. So disappearance means actually it is most difficult to understand his disappearance, why? Because as far as Krishna is concerned, Krishna's death indicates that he is a God, he will not die. But Krishna's death indicates a continuity of his pastime on another place. Okay, I will explain you how. like the sun, okay? The sun sets in one place, but he rises at the another place, right? So his setting means not dying, but rising at another place. So Lord Krishna's death is not a death, but it is kind of a disappearance. Or you can say departure, maybe a good word, departure. Krishna depart from here. That means there is always an arrival. Suppose we are going to India, so we go to departure terminal here, right? So where we depart from. But then we will also have an arrival terminal, right? So departure is ends and then the arrival comes. So same thing, when Krishna depart from this universe, he may go to another universe because there are so many universes coming out from the Karanadaksai Vishnu, you know, millions of universes. So Krishna finishes his work or fulfill his mission in one universe and depart from that universe and goes to another universe, you know, so like that. So his departure from this earthly planet doesn't mean that he's gone forever. He appears in some other universes. So also there is a description of Krishna's disappearance after the completion of his mission. Lord Brahma is telling about it. So I will explain that story briefly. So one time Brahma said to Krishna, my dear Lord, previously we requested you to remove the burden of the earth. Now, if you remember the story, when Mother Earth in a cow form went to Brahma for help because Mother Earth cannot bear the weight of the demons. The demons were making so much disturbances on the earth. So at that time, earth in the shape of a cow and Lord Brahma with all the demigods went to this Vishnu form, you know. So that is what he's reminding now. So Lord Brahma says, my dear Lord, previously we requested you to remove the burden of the earth. That request has already been fulfilled. And you have re-established the principle of religion among pious men. Now you can see, because he has established Yudhishthir on the throne of Hastinapur now. You have also distributed your glories all over the world. His glory regarding his name, regarding his pastime, beauty, you know. So what will happen now? So by reading or hearing about his pastime, you know, people in the world will be purified by hearing about him, you know. So descending into the dynasty of King Yadu, you have manifested your unique transcendental form. And for the benefit of the entire universe, you have executed magnanimous transcendental activity. So, my dear Lord, those pious and saintly persons who in the age of Kali hear about your transcendental activity and also glorify them will easily cross over the darkness of the age. So, because you have came to this earthly planet, because you have established the right religion, because you have protected the devotees, you have killed the demons, and you have performed some pastimes. So because of that, the people will hear about your pastime and they will get also purified. So your mission is accomplished, you know. So you have descended into the Yadu dynasty, and thus you have spent how many years? 125 years. Lord Krishna stayed on the earthly planet 125 years. And then there is nothing remaining at this time for your lordship to do on behalf of demigod. So you have already withdrawn your dynasty by the curse of Brahmanas of Lord. So now I will tell you a brief story about how Brahmanas cursed, upon the Yadu dynasty. Yadu dynasty in which Lord Krishna disappeared. And his desire was that before he depart from the earthly planet, he wanted all the Yadu members to go. But they were so powerful, they cannot go that easily. So it was Krishna's plan behind it, how and why they departed from this. So there is a little story on this one. So it was Lord Krishna's desire. So Lord Krishna expertly arranged the great Kurukshetra battle between Kuru and Pandava and thus removed the great extent to earth's burden. But the Supreme Lord, whose influence is inconceivable, was not yet satisfied. Why? Because of the continued presence of the Yadu family members. They were so strong, and he has a fear about it that they will, disturb the whole earthly planet. So his idea was that they need to go also. So what happened is the Lord desired to bring about the destruction of the Yadu dynasty so that he could completely wind up his pastime on the earth and go back to his own abode. Now, using the pretense of a curse means it's kind of one excuse of the curse that is there by the Brahmanas. He withdrew his entire dynasty from surface of the earth. Now, let me see. So this is in the beginning where Yudhishthira Maharaj was remembering these words, and then Yudhishthira talking to Arjuna, and then he's leaving to Dwarka, and here he's observing some strange things happening around him, and he's talking to Bhim here. Okay. So this is where we are. He's talking to Bhim and remembering the Krishna's pastime. So in which we are saying here that by Sri Krishna's desire, many great sages headed by Narad and Vishwamitra, they assemble at the holy place named Pindark near the city of Dwarka. The young boys of the Yadu family, they were absorbed in a playful mood. They also came there. Now these boys dressed one of their Samba, whose name was Samba, in the guise of a pregnant woman about to give birth, and inquired from sage about the fruitfulness of Samba's so-called pregnancy. So what they did, they were mocking, they were joking, sort of. So they used Samba and they made him a pregnant, wrapping some cloth, and then asking those Brahmanas that, please tell us, whether this woman will have a boy or a girl like that, So the sages knew, that they are pretending all these things. So they cursed these boys, and they told that she will give a birth to a club that will destroy the Yadu family. So the Yadu families, they were very fearful by this curse, and immediately lifted the garment from the Samba's abdomen and found a club like this Brahmanas cursed them. Now that's why they went to the Ugrasen, the king of the Yadu, and they offered a report what had happened to Ugrasen. So now, fearing Brahmana's curse, the Ugrasen ordered the club to be grounded. So make it a powder, and then that will be thrown into the ocean. So within an ocean, a fish swallowed the last remaining lump of iron, and the waves carried all the bits of ground powder to the shore, where they were implanted and eventually grew into a grove of cane. So fishermen caught the fish, and a hunter named Jara used the iron lump found in its belly to fashion an arrow. Now, although the super soul Lord Sri Krishna understood what was happening, he did not wish to do anything to counteract it. Rather, in the form of time, he sanctioned all these events. So, this is kind of a brief history about why and how Brahmana cursed that Yadu family to be destroyed. Then, further, the Lord Brahma is telling to Lord Krishna here that you are the basis of everything, and if you so desire, kindly return now to your own abode in the spiritual world. At the same time, we humbly beg that always protect us. We are your humble servant, and on your behalf, we are managing the universal situation. We, along with our planets and followers, require your constant protection. So then Supreme Lord replied that, O Brahma, I understand your prayers and request. So having removed the burden of the earth, I have executed everything required on your behalf. That very Yadav dynasty in which I appeared became greatly magnified in opulence, especially in their physical strength and courage, to the extent that they threatened to devour the whole world. Therefore, I have stopped them just as the shore holds back the great ocean. If I were to leave this world without withdrawing the overly proud member of Yadu dynasty, the whole world would be destroyed by the deluge of their unlimited expansion. Now, due to Brahmana's curse, the annihilation of my family was already begun. So, O Brahma, when this annihilation is finished and I am en route to Vaikuntha, then I will pay a small visit to your abode also. So that is the conversation between Lord Brahma and Krishna. Now, so after the destruction of the Yadu dynasty, the Lord himself departed. And as soon as Lord departed, the Kali Yuga, after this Dwapar Yuga. So basically, as soon as Lord Sri Krishna left the earth, what happened? The truth, religion, faithfulness, the glory and beauty, they immediately followed him also. So there is then the Kali Yuga began with the symptom of the quarrel and inauspiciousness. So Yudhishthira had already begun. That are the symptoms of Kali Yuga that Yudhishthira is observing now. So he is noticing that the seasons are irregular, as well as an increase in greed, anger, deceit among the citizens. So while talking to Bhim, Yudhishthira is expressing his heartfelt gratitude to Lord Sri Krishna. See, now Yudhishthira is thinking that in the position he was and how all Pandavas were saved by Krishna. So while talking to Bhimsen, he's mentioning about Lord Krishna's work or the activities that is done to help Pandavas. So there he's saying that from Krishna only all our kingly opulence, good lives, progeny, control over our subject, victory over our enemy, and future accommodation in higher planet have become possible. Why? Because of Krishna. All this is due to his causeless mercy upon us. So here we try to get a lesson from this event that without the Lord's mercy, no one is successful simply by personal labor. You know, the modern people of Kali Yuga believes in personal endeavor and they denies the benediction of the Supreme Lord. But we find in the pages of Shrimad Bhagwatam that the ultimate sanction for all success rests in the hands of the Supreme Lord. So Maharaj Yudhishthir admits here this truth in his personal success that our Pandava's success is because of the Lord's presence. So if one could achieve success without the sanction of the Lord, then there will be no medical practitioner would fail to cure a patient. You know, it is a fact that if it is, you know, without the Lord's mercy, you know, if that doesn't sanction, then the doctor will not be able to cure any patient, you know. But still, in presence of doctor, patient has to die, you know, because it is God's arrangement. Therefore, the conclusion is that God's sanction is the immediate cause for all happenings, good or bad. And any successful man should feel grateful to the Lord for all he has achieved. So we can see here by the celestial influence of the stars, all planets, the threefold miseries and excessive heat, cold, rain or no rain, and the after effect like famine, disease and epidemic, man-made material science cannot do anything to counteract threefold miseries, you know. Therefore, only by devotional service can one get relief from these miseries. So this is where now while he was talking to Bhimsen, here you can say, this stays to Bhima, "Oh Bhim, see how sea jackal cries as the rising sun and vomits fire, and how the dog barks at me fearlessly. Useful animal like cows are walking on left side. My horses are weeping, and how smokes encircle sky." So these are kind of in a brief, but let me see. There are further bad omens experienced by Maharaj Yudhishthir. Maharaj Yudhishthir is describing more omens, more bad symptoms that he is experiencing to Bhim. So, and there are many kinds of inauspicious, beginning with his own body, for example. There are some bodily symptoms also that one can experience himself. One can see outside something which he observes that something is going wrong, but one can feel it in his body also. Now, bodily symptoms were mainly the Yudhishthira is saying that his left side of his body, like thighs, arms, eyes, are quivering. Means, you know, when they start to quiver, mean that on left side of the man, you know, for the woman it is right side, but left side, when it is left side, left part of the body quivering, that means there must be something bad symptom. And not only that, but Yudhishthira was saying that my heart is beating very fast also. So these are kind of a bodily sign, you know. Actually, material existence is full of uh, undesirable. The things we do not want are forced upon us by some superior power. For example, right now, the pandemic, who wants the corona? But it is there, right? So nobody uh, force, so things we do not want, they are forced upon us. you know so these undesirable, means things which we don't want, are compared to fire in a forest, because nobody goes to forest and uh, you know they do the fire there. No one goes into the forest to set fire, but fire automatically take place in the forest. So such a fire cannot be extinguished by any human effort. The fire can be extinguished only by the mercy of the Lord, who sends clouds to pour water on the forest. Similarly, undesirable happening in life cannot be checked by any number of plans. Such miseries can be removed only by mercy of the Lord, who sends his bona fide representative to enlighten human being and thus save them from all calamities. So this is one kind of omens. We will discuss tomorrow some other kind of omens or bad symptoms that Yudhishthir is observing. So we'll stop here today and take any questions or comments. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. So, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for a wonderful class. So, I request to all the participants, please, if you have any questions, any comment, please raise your hand. So, we will take one by one. Thank you. Any questions, comments, if you have? So, Shlok, please unmute yourself.
When is Kali Yuga ending?
What is?
Like, is it like about to end soon?
What is your question?
When will Kali Yuga end?
Oh, Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga will begin. We are in Kali Yuga right now. Because there are 4 yugas, just like season, right? You have a winter, summer, monsoon season. So there are, for the management of this universe, there are 4 yugas. If you have heard about it, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga.
Yeah, but that's not my question. My question is that when will Kali Yuga end?
Oh, okay. Kali Yuga will end after so many years, because the total lifespan for Kali Yuga is 432,000 years, out of which we only pass some over 5,000 years. So there are about 38,000, 38 lakhs, 4,32,000. So 4,32,000 minus 5 is 27,000 years still left. Approximately.
Okay.
Approximately 4,27,000 years still left of Kali Yuga.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, you're welcome. Anything else?
Okay, the next one. If anybody have any questions, comments, please raise your hands. Ramachandra, please unmute yourself.
Prabhuji, so you said that Kali Yuga had a certain number of times years, right? So how much time did Dwapar Yuga have?
Dwapar Yuga has double the time than Kali Yuga. It was 8,64,000 years.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. And Treta Yuga has 3 times of Kali Yuga, means 12,96,000 years. We discuss about that during different incarnations of Lord in chapter 3.
Okay. Anybody have any questions, comments? So, Prabhu, there is no comments. No. Okay, Varun Kasturi, please unmute yourself.
My question was, when did Dwapar Yuga end?
Dwapar Yuga already ended when Kali Yuga started. We already have 5,000.
So when Krishna first appeared in Kali Yuga?
No, he appeared in Dwapar Yuga.
Oh, so Krishna appeared in the end of Dwapar Yuga?
He was there during Dwapar Yuga.
Okay. Okay, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Anybody else?
Shlok, do you have another question? Please unmute yourself.
Yes, I have a question. So when Dwapar Yuga ends, Kali Yuga comes after that. So at the end of Dwapar Yuga, something is there something like at the end of Dwapar Yuga, does Krishna leave?
Yeah. By the
So
end.
he leaves, and that's why they say Kali Yuga has the most negativity, because he's gone.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because Krishna is not present here, the Kali Yugas, and there is still more symptoms to come as Kali Yuga advances, In 12th canto of Shrimad Bhagwatam, it is all described. And it is all actually happening according to that. It was written 5,000 years ago by Vyasadeva. So that's why only shelter in Kali Yuga is the Lord's holy name. Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
And my other question is that if Kali Yuga will end, after that Satya Yuga has the most happiness because God is always present there.
Yes, Satyuga is the age which is very everything is there is no any calamity, any problem. That kind of Satyuga is.
Okay, and can Krishna come sometimes to our earth even when it's Kali Yuga?
Krishna comes one time in a day of Brahma.
Like in Kali Yuga?
So day of Brahma is very long. Like day of Brahma is calculated to be 1,000 cycle of the Yuga, if you add all those years, So he just, he appeared, it was 5,000 years ago. So the next, when the day, so right, as far as the Brahmas is at his midday right now, out of complete day, So then midday comes, then the evening comes, then the night comes, and then, his span is 100 years, but 100 years of those planets, Brahma's planet, means according to ours, because what happens over there, one day is equal to 6 months of that heavenly planet.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. That's all my questions. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. The last question is Charith. Charith, do you have, please unmute yourself.
So my question is, so this is not about this. It's not. So the question is not about this chapter, but another chapter that we already reviewed. So when Vidura was telling King Dhritarashtra to leave from the castle because Kali Yuga was starting, and why?
Vidura was telling to him, whom?
King Dhritarashtra. I don't know.
Dhritarashtra?
Yeah.
Oh, Dhritarashtra. Oh,
Yeah.
what was he telling to Dhritarashtra?
He was telling him to leave the castle because Kali Yuga was
Or
starting.
to leave the home. Yeah, because Kali Yuga. Yeah, exactly. Correct.
Why?
Yeah. Well, because when Kali Yuga comes, he will not be able to make his life perfect because of so many, problem will happen. So that was the thing he was fearing about. So before the Kali Yuga comes, he wanted to leave him. So that was till the end of Dwapar Yuga. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Is anybody have any other questions? Please raise your hands.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so whoever can answer, they can raise their hand. Okay, who did Yudhishthir send to Dwarka?
Okay, so there is two hands. Varun Kasturi, please unmute yourself.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Who did King Yudhishthir send
Yeah, who did Yudhishthir send to Dwarka?
to Dwarka? I think it was Arjuna.
Oh, okay, very good. Thank you. Okay, then next question I'm going to ask you. How many queens Krishna married?
16,108.
Very good.
Good job, Varun Kasturi. Please mute yourself. We will ask to other students also. Yes, Prabhuji, there is any other questions?
Yeah. How many years Krishna stayed on earthly planet?
Charith, please unmute yourself.
120 years or 127?
125.
Oh, 125. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. Okay. One last question, then we will stop. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. To whom Yudhishthir was grateful for his success?
Suraj, please unmute yourself.
Yo, Prabhuji, could you say the question one more
Yes.
time? I didn't understand it.
Yeah. To whom Yudhishthir was grateful for his success?
Krishna?
Yes.
Like success of winning the war it is Krishna.
Right. Right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so we'll stop here. And tomorrow we'll continue with this chapter and finish this chapter. Okay, we will see how Yudhishthira Maharaj is observing some more bad symptoms of Kali Yuga. And then while he was talking to Bhimsen like that, then Arjuna is coming from Dwarka and then the story moves further. We'll see that what happens tomorrow. Okay. So Hare Krishna to everyone. Thank you for listening me. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granthara Shrimad Bhagwatam ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha Krupa sindhubhya evacha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaisnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you.